Hello and welcome to a brief orientation of Eaglegate College and a few items that I wanted to go over with you in a Zoom meeting, but this seems to be a little bit more convenient way to get the information to you. Again, my name is Diane Morrison. I am taking over as the transition person at this time. I have been with Eaglegate since 2015, and that was pretty much when the school changed from an ADN program to a BSN program with an on-ground and an online component. And I teach fully in the online component along with 7 other full-time online instructors. I have my master's in nursing and I have a year certification in master's online education. So I've been very fortunate to work with Eaglegate College. I think it is an amazing school, very well run, and we hope that it continues in that way. So what I wanted to do today was just give you an overview of Canvas. I know some of you have worked in Canvas before, and so I will not try to bore you with any information, but just information related to how we at Eaglegate use the Canvas. As you can see, this is the home page, and on our home page we have up to 5 announcements that will show at one time. I actually have asked Mandy Sparrow to increase it, so I believe in my courses I've had 6. But 5 is a good number. It doesn't overwhelm the students. So your course at this point should include meet your instructor, a welcome message about the course in general. I'm sorry, my cursor here is shaking. And a welcome to the first week. And then the other thing that we require at Eaglegate is a meeting, 1 meeting per class session. You can have more to overview with the class. Now, in my particular class, or classes that I do, I always make a orientation to the class video, and that way the students can review that, and then when it comes to the meeting, they can come with questions after they have seen the video. I usually go over the first assignment in that meeting, and then I do record the meeting and post it in the announcements. So basically, this is where you would see your announcements. I will go to the announcement page, and you can take a look at the other announcements that are in here. In my announcements, I usually include information regarding discussion posts, different policies and procedures, and I keep those throughout the week. I noticed that Sheila does not have all these in her announcements. If you are interested in any of those extra types of announcements, I can send those to you. I wanted to show you this button here. You can use the big blue button for your weekly meetings, and you would just add the conference here, set it up. You would invite your students. You may only do 1 class per that announcement, but it is a very effective way. You can record it and also put it in the announcements, or you could use a Zoom meeting if that's what you would prefer. Getting back to the home page, please make sure that you have edited the syllabus and added your information. On to the discussion posts. The discussion posts, it was moved this time, it usually was at the top. The discussion posts are here. You would pin your discussions each week by going over to this bar over here and pinning them at the end of the week. You will unpin them and close them for comments. It is important that in the Eaglegate Cafe, you put an announcement about meeting the class. We've tried to be creative in this area. We have used Padlet, as was discussed in the meeting, something to just get the students to join online instead of copying and pasting what they have done in other classes. And this is an example of Sheila asking about what their favorite movie is. It basically has nothing to do with school, but again, it's meeting and greeting as if you were in a classroom situation on ground. Please also put in your discussions, there's a question and answer here, and put a reply in there so that um, the students will know that you've put the first one in, and then you should reply to that. And then also make sure that with the question and answer, you keep an eye on it so that you can answer those questions in an expedient manner. So the discussion posts are here for this week. You would post your discussion reply down here. The discussion posts and announcements for the next week are to be put up on Friday or Saturday at the very latest. And also on Friday, you would put the summary to these discussion posts, which you should be able to find in the class that was assigned to you that is like the class you are teaching. As far as the discussions go, you are to be in the discussions a minimum of 4 days a week, and you are to post 15% of the time or a minimum of 10 posts. That includes your launch and your summary, and then your questions or your replies to your students who have answered your questions. I find it easier instead of trying to figure out 15%, and many students will post late at night, so your 15% at 12 noon on a Sunday might change because many students post so late. So I usually just do the 10 questions or 10 replies or posts or whatever. So that is our discussions. When it comes to grading discussions, and I am going to go back to the grading rubric, we grade on Mondays. You may not grade any work before Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. so that students have an opportunity, if they can, make changes to an assignment or to get all their work in. So grading starts after that time period. The discussion rubric is as follows, and in this part, this pretty much looks at if they've cited the material, included a citation and reference. Occasionally they will miss a citation and they would lose 3 points. Usually we take 5, 3, and 0. If they contribute to the learning environment, again, we are looking at the 80-20 rule, and there will be an update on that. But the post should be, the majority of it should be in their own words. Not more than 20% should be quoted, because we feel that is not considered their own words. And then again, this looks at, did they answer the questions? Many times there are multiple questions. Did they answer both of those questions? They are to reply to two of their either to your post or to another student's. They need to use an etiquette, and per the handbook, they need to address everyone by a name. So if they do not do that, they would lose 1 point. I'm going to come back to grammar and mechanics and skip down to participation and timeliness. They do need to post the initial post by Wednesday. If they do not, they would lose points for that. And then they do need to be in on 2 separate days and make replies to another student. If they do not meet these requirements, or they would get a 0. If they do post 1 response, they would get 3 points. However, if they do not post by Wednesday, they do not get credit for that. So if you have any questions about that, please let me know. We do try to be very consistent with our grading when it comes to the discussion rubrics, because please remember the students have on-ground components, and if they feel that one instructor is grading different than another instructor, Sometimes that gets reported to the deans on or the assistant deans on ground. So if we can stay consistent, that's important. I will send you, there is in the handbook how we do grade APA format, and I will send that to you. So please note that 5 points can include 1 error. So before they lose a point, it is 2 errors. Because these are BSN students who are just learning APA format, we are trying to teach them and not make it difficult for them to learn and stress out about APA format. Our goal basically is to have them pass the NCLEX so that they get their RN, and then secondary to be comfortable and learning and growing in APA format. So in the paper I will send you, or as I said, it's in the handbook, if there's an error in the citation, if they forget a paragraph number or a page number, or some piece of that citation, it's only counted as 1 point for that entire citation, not for everything they missed. In the reference, it's basically considered the same. So please keep that in mind. And also, again, it's a discussion board. If there's the biggest problem I see is that they use their cell phones to respond, and so they don't always capitalize letters. But again, take into account that it is a discussion. We're trying to use the discussion board to increase their critical thinking and foster learning. If you have any questions about how these are graded, please let me know. I believe we'll probably be discussing this again in the faculty meeting. All right. Okay. I'm just looking at my list right now, so I will get back to you. Okay, all assignments need to be submitted, not discussions, but assignments are submitted by Sunday evening at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So you will see that quizzes are due at Sunday night, or major assignments are due on Sunday night at 11:59 Mountain Standard Time. Any quizzes may not be taken after the due date. Assignments can be turned in late, and we do have the late policy, which you will find in the handbook. If the student turns in the paper on a Monday, they lose 10%, Tuesday 20%, and Wednesday 30% of the grade. Students are allowed to contact you for extenuating circumstances, but that needs to be set up ahead of time and should be sent through me, and we will work with also the program on-ground deans to if it's appropriate. We do not, as a rule, allow students to request extenuating circumstance at the last minute, and computer issues are not considered an extenuating circumstance. So please be aware of that. Okay, I think I'll go through the grades quickly. So the grades, the grade book is probably pretty self-explanatory. The student names, this is missing a few pieces, but when you are grading, you could use a speed grader. You can hide the grades so that when you're grading your discussion, you can hide the grades until everything is done. I always think it's a good idea in case I come across something and I need to question and make sure that I am grading fairly. But once your students are populated, you will see this is the grade book. If the student is late, you will get a pink color. The pink color changes as the days progress. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is doing attendance. And I have a video on how to do attendance. So that is a separate video that I made for another faculty member that I was mentoring. So I will also include that video. This is just, like I said, a quick overview of the class. I'm hoping if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please contact me. I am here to help you and assist you and make you feel comfortable with working at Eagle Gate College. Please let me know if you have any questions, and looking forward to working with you.